Desiray, so we are starting module 5. Hamgen Hokolan Docine Ocean Chakiben 5. So we're starting 5. It's going to be a little bit of everything. I think there's another thing I needed to round up our conjugations with, but I left my notebook at home. So right now I don't recall what it was, but we're going to try to incorporate all the other conjugations that we have been learning, try to make sentences, try to push a lot of vocabulary out, because we can speak more if we know what we're talking about in Muskogee. We are going to still also reach back to module 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the vocabulary words, for the infinitive verbs. I will also present more infinitive verbs, more vocabulary words, so we can start trying to make sentences. I'm still, like I said, I'm still learning. So what I learn, I try to teach you guys to make it a little easier to figure out how to navigate through Muskogee after learning so many years of English. Because I know you got to switch to Muskogee brain and try to just change everything up. All right, so this disclaimer is just saying there's different dialects in the Muskogee language. The Muskogee Language Program Committee determined which dialect to use for the language instruction. The selection for the pronunciation and spelling may or may not be your customary way of pronouncing the word. The dialect chosen is not to diminish other dialects, nor does it mean there is a right or wrong way to pronounce those particular words. It does mean, however, the program had to select one way to teach, say the word, to enable consistency in teaching the language. Therefore, it was a committee decision for the pronunciations in the Muskogee Language Program curriculum. So we are, because I put this out there again because I like to show that there's more than one way to do things. There's more than one way to pronounce things. I asked 3 different Mvhayvs how to say happy birthday, and they all gave me something different, because originally there was no word for happy birthday. So we're all trying to learn and trying to navigate through all of these new things that, you know, back in the day for Muskogee people, we did not have internet, we did not have computers, we did not have cars. So the language is trying to catch up with modern technology. And I know some of you who watch Mvhayv Barnett, she tries to incorporate some of these sayings of today's language into Muskogee, and she does a really good job at it. There's some things that we were talking about, like somebody was texting me, and I had to leave one day, and I was like, oh, snap. So I had to run out the door. So there's really, you know, if you think about some of the slang, there's really not a word for some of these things in Muskogee. But anyway, like I said, I wanted to show this to you guys, because if you hear weewa for owa, you know, for water, just use whatever you're used to. Just know that if somebody says weewa, you know what it is. Boji, that's how I learned it. Bozi for cat. Chishi, chissy for mouse. There's different ways to do the same thing. Also, like I said, for happy birthday, there was 3 different ways. I haven't yet put that into a little PowerPoint video or anything, but I will show you guys that whenever we get a chance. All right, so does anybody have any questions before we start? And if you guys have a way of, oh goodness, if you guys have a way of saying something that when I'm presenting that you don't have, that I don't have, then just unmute and I'll let you speak it, because I'm always learning. I think we are always learning to learn our language. And like I said, there's different dialects, different regions of doing the same thing. All right. I think my board closed on me. It sure did. All right. Let me try to get back to my modules. Does anybody have any questions before we begin? I know I'm just building off of what we've already learned. And there's some of you guys who have who are jumping in new and fresh. So if you have any questions, let me know, and I will try to address anything that you have a question about. Let me see if I can share this with you guys. How many of you guys have been practicing? You know, your sounds and your letters or your words or anything Muskogee? How many? All right, good job. So let me see if I can share this.
Mvhayv,
Yes, go ahead.
well, how are we supposed to show that?
This, you can just screenshot it. If you can screenshot it and you can keep it for a different time, that's what I do. You can even get your phone and screenshot it. And these are the links to our new, well, to some of our resources. We are still working on that website I keep talking about. There's revisions and revisions and revisions. But just screenshot this on your computer or with your phone, and I will move it up in a second here. All right, and this is pretty cool because they keep coming up with new things to do for our Muskogee language. All right, can you see all that? Is that all on? Okay, it looks like it's all on there. So screenshot it with either your phone or your computer. I know I had printed out for those who were in person before, and share it. All I can say is share it. Get out there and learn and help everybody who wants to learn, and share it. Share it as social media, wherever you can share it, just throw it out there. If this, I'll give you a couple more seconds to do this. But these are some of the new things that they have going on. Once they have the final completed version of the website, I will post it on here as well. Anytime I find anything, I try to share it with you guys because I want to keep language and learning our language fun. And when they get some new things, that's awesome. All right. Okay, come on. Oh, there we go. All right, so we are in module 5, like I said. And we're just briefly going to go over things because I have people come up to me every single time I go out there. And they say, well, we want to start learning. We want to start learning. And we learned a lot of things, a lot of the sounds and tones in module 1. But I will refresh and go over everything again. And then we will go back over what we've already learned because repetition helps you remember. And these are what we've already gone over so far. So module 1, and I forgot to go over this the end of last module, module 4. I passed it out, but I forgot to go over it because there was food involved. Anytime there's food involved, I just kind of lose concentration because everything was awesome. Everything was good. Home cooking is the best thing. All right, module 1, we went over present tense. Umbada is, like I said, is my favorite word because it reminds me of family and eating our native foods or just getting together and just having a good time. I know a lot of our native people, they've got humor and food. You sit down with a full tummy, you're in a good mood, you're sitting there chilling and joking with anybody. And it's just a good time. So like I said, I've asked the Mvhayvs, do we have a word for soul food? And they all said no. And like I said, humbada, I think it invokes soul food to me. So that's what I call soul food for Muskogee people. Humbada, to eat, anything to eat and have a good time with your family and friends. Okay, present tense, we did humbada, to eat. The I meant I when we conjugate. The it was you, and the nothing right here, it was third person, he, she, it, or they. So from humbida, we got humbes, eating I am. That's how we conjugated in module 1. So we've already conjugated on present tense what we were doing at the moment. I am eating. Module 2, present tense negation, humbida. Again, humbida, to eat. This time in our rules, we had used the for the I, the V for the I. And that is present tense negation for module 2 that we did. It was you again. So that seems like that has never changed. So that makes it a little bit easier for those of us who are still trying to learn how to conjugate. All right, and then right here, the parenthesis, open and close parentheses, and there is she, he, it, or they. And so that's third person. So humbakot os. Eating, I am not eating. All right. Module 3, future 1 tense negation. Humbada, to eat. We again also use the V or the for I am doing something. It's second person is you, and nothing was third person, open and close parentheses again. Humbahanakot os. Humbahanakot os. Eat, going to, I am not going to eat. I always like to put all the information as much as I can on there, because if you sit there and you look at your notes, you can refresh with your notes and you can remember why things are the way they are. And I love to put it in English so we know exactly literally what it's saying. Eat, going to, I am not going to eat. So you won't be confused with thinking that humbahanakot os is I am not going to eat. Literally, it says eat, going to, I am. And I like to do that because I want you to know what you're saying. Want you to know what each breakdown of everything is. All right, module 4, we went over future 1 tense, humbada again, to eat. We use the I in these conjugations. I for I, it gives you, and third person was nothing, open and close parentheses. Means she, he, it, or they. Humbahanes. Humbahanes. Eat, going to, I am going to eat. All right, so those are the modules that we've already gone over. Module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, and module 5, we are just starting that. Again, there was another conjugation that I can't recall offhand what we're going to cover in module 4, but we are also going to jump back to module 2, module 3, module 1, module 4, and just try to play it up a little bit more, because the more you practice these things, the more you remember. And if you see right here, like humbes, eating, I am eating, it's a whole sentence. And that's what people don't realize when you come straight from English to Muskogee. These are sentences. Even though it looks like it's one word, it's like a compound. I don't know what to call it, a compound sentence. I think you just throw it all together. And all right. And I will put it in chat here. All right, and that should be the Google Drive. If you guys want to take a look at everything in there. I know that we've been going through and doing things. So I'm still printing off module 1. All right, so what I was telling you about, all the rules that we just went through, this is a completed conjugated verb of humbida. So we conjugate it to humbes. Eating, I am. Translation, humbes. Literal translation, eating, I am. English translation, I am eating. All right. If you need to refresh, you can go into module 1, and this is what we learned there. And this is how I like to learn, is I know what every little thing on the conjugation means now, which sometimes when you're just remembering and you're just adding things on, sometimes you don't get the full scope of what you're learning. Okay, hijira, to see. So this is the conjugated version, hijitskis. So seeing, you are. Hijitskis. Literal translation, seeing you are. English translation, you are seeing. So right here, once you conjugate everything, and like I threw templates in there so you can have a blank template for any infinitive verb. You can conjugate it for whatever conjugated templates you're using. So hijitskis. Seeing you are seeing. Like I said, I'm going through this really fast because these are things we've already covered. And I want to make sure that we can pick up again, because I know 2 weeks, sometimes it seems like a long time and you forget things. And constantly going over, and this is not what I was thinking about. Okay, sometimes when you go over, you miss things. So we also learned in going to, so which going to, I am going to, which is module 4, Humbahanes. Same kind of breakdown. I have templates out there. Humbida. Wait. Learning. Humbida is to eat. I must have overlooked that part. So eat, going to, she, he, they. am, are, is. So in this parenthesis, it has she, he, it, they. So humbida means to eat. So eat, going to, she, he, it, they, am, are, is. Hombahanes. Eating, she, he, it, they, am, are, is. English translation, she is eating, he, or is going to eat, he is going to eat, they are going to eat. I can see now that I need to edit that. Sometimes we get excited and we use the same template and we forget to update some things. All right. And then present tense negation, second person. Remember those. In all of our conjugation, the only thing in our templates that changed were the person markers. So right here, everything in these rules, you can even just pull it up there. Everything in these rules are exactly the same except for this step right here. Number 2, add your person marker. So even if it's third person, exact same rules. First person, exact same rules. Third person, exact same rules except your person marker. So again, no L grading, rules for present tense negation, drop your ETV, you get your verb stem, you add your person marker. In this one, we added the for I, it's is always you, and no person marker is third person. And then again, negation, cool or equal, subject marker T, auxiliary verb os, which means am, are, is. Notejera, to cook. Notejera, you drop your ETV, you get your verb stem, add your person marker. Again, that's the only thing that changes when we're doing our conjugations. So here you see it means you. Notejitski equal. Notejitski quote. Notejitski quote os. All right, so you add your negation right here, equal or full. Add your T because that's what that's the subject marker, and add your os. Auxiliary verb am, are, is. Can anybody tell me why we added EKO instead of KO for this negation? You can type it in chat or you can unmute.
The vowel.
Right, exactly. So right here, it's is right before here. So it ends in a K. Since K is not a vowel, we add a vowel. So we added EKO. If K was a vowel, if there was a vowel there instead of a K, say it was a V, then we would add KO. If there's a vowel, we don't add a vowel. If there's not a vowel, we add the vowel EKO. All right, good job, Mache. All right, Notejitsky os. Cooking you, not are, you are not cooking. All right, is that a good reminder, or people remembering? Are you guys remembering? I know, like I said, 2 weeks sometimes is a long time. And I'm just trying to refresh our mind. So I'm from there on, I've got it all mixed up and jumbled up. So let's go ahead. Nojikot os. Nojikot os. Sleeping they not are. Nojikot os. So that's what it would look like without the parenthesis right here. Nojikot os. Yep. Sleeping they not are, they are not sleeping. And since that's third person, remember that parentheses not only means they, it could say she is not sleeping, he is not sleeping, it is not sleeping, they are not sleeping. All right, so that parenthesis right here holds a lot of information for us. And as you see, that's my placeholder. That's not an actual thing that we do in Muskogee. And you see right here, Nojikot os. See, there's not an there's not an I, or there's no it. So that means you know it's third person. All right. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Sometimes Word documents take a little bit more time than trying to do the PDF version. All right. Akopanada, to play, akopanada. And like I said, P, it's got the B sound, akopanada. Like, there are some people who say akopan with a P sound. Either one is not wrong. It's either or in our alphabet, akopanada, but here I know they say the B for the P sound. I know in some of the dictionaries, it says the P sounds like a P. So, you know, you have to take some of these references and just put it in your pockets to know that these things can happen. But when I learn from the speakers. And if they don't speak that way, I don't understand so much that way, and I don't present it that way. I do hear it differently, but like I said, it's not wrong either way. It's just how a lot of our speakers are here in this Muskogee language program. They speak it that way. It's not wrong. It's different because I've heard other people say it differently. Akopanada, to play. You drop your ETV, you get your verb stem. I also heard it called the root, the verb root. No L grading. We only did L grading in module 1, and you can go back and refresh on the notes for module 1. Add your person marker. Since we're talking about third person, you see no person marker, and it means she, he, they, or it. And right here, open and close parentheses are my place marker to know where I am in the steps again. So that is really not there, it's imaginary. You add your EKO. The reason why you added the EKO, because that N right here is not a vowel. If it was a vowel, we would only add KO. That's why it says add the negation affix KO or EKO. No vowel, you add a vowel. If there's a vowel, you don't add another vowel. All right, akopan equal. And then you add your subject marker T, akopan equal. And then you go down to the next line, os, akopan equal os. Os, again, remember, os means the period at the end of the sentence. It also means am, are, is. All right. Akopan equal os. Verb stem, person marker, negation, the subject marker, os, am, are, is. Akopan equal os. He is not playing. She is not playing. It is not playing. They are not playing. All right. Remember, for that person marker, it means she, he, it, or they. So whenever you're talking to somebody and you're speaking about a female, you know it's going to be she. You know, you're speaking about a male, you know it's going to be he. You see your dog run by, it is running by, and you're talking about the dog. Talk about the dog. You know, that's when I think you would talk about it, or they are over there eating. You could also be talking about an animal. You can talk about a person, but I always think of it being an animal. And I don't think I would call anybody an it. All right, kethera, to learn. And again, kethera, you drop your ETV, you get your verb stem. And the E is the final vowel. You add your marker, the kethera. Add your person marker. And this was my old way of writing third person. She, he, it, or they. That was a zero with a line in it. It could be open and close parentheses or a zero. And then you add your ES. Ethes. Ethes, yeah. I haven't spoken some of these words in a while either. So I know how it sounds, but sometimes like I said, if you haven't practiced in a while, your mouth is just kind of like, I can hear it in my head, I can see it, but my mouth won't do it. So it takes practice, everyday practice. And the more vocabulary words you learn and the more you know, the more you have to keep practicing. Keep this. Verb stem, she, he, they, it, singular person, es or s means am, are, is. It also means a period. Keep this. She, he, it, they, is, are learning. She is learning, he is learning, it is learning, they are learning. All right, you can see how we're going through this, and you can see my notes get a little bit more intense as we go further along. I have, for some reason, there's 2 copies, but these are the rules for future 1/10. Show that someone is going to do something. There's no L grading in future 1/10. Drop your ETV. You add your person or tense marker ahan, which means going to. Add your person marker it's or nothing. And you see which each thing means. I, you, she, he, they, or it. Add your declarative ending s or es, meaning am, are, is. So these are out there as well. I tried to make everything colorful because I know a lot of Stujati and a lot of Native people like color, and that's me. I can associate things with color, with different things, not just writing. So pictures. So that's why I try to put everything in the way that helps me learn. I figure somebody's out there that learns the same way. So we've got our rules for future 1/10 negation. Future 1/10 negation shows that someone is not going to do something. There is no L grading in a future 1/10 negation. L grading again was only in module 1 that we have learned. Future 1/10 negation rules. You drop your ETV, you add your tense marker, ahan, which means going to, add your person marker, it's or nothing, she, he, they, or it, add your negation, ko or equal, add your subject marker D, add your auxiliary verb os. So this is how we start adding on to the conjugated verb. This is how we start adding on to it. So the cool thing is we know what ahan means. We know what it's means. We know what means. We know what ko or equal means. We know the T and we know the os. So even if you haven't looked at some of the literature that's out there in Muskogee, I have some old student pamphlets or little books that they had put out. And even if it's not, you don't understand it, you can kind of get the gist of it just by breaking the sentences down by, is it go or equal? Well, that's usually a negative where it's not doing something. Or ahan means we're going to do something. So these are just little words that can help us understand what we're reading and what we're learning. All right, humbahanetski kot os. Eating, going to, you not, am, are, is. So humbahanetski kot os. And one of the things I told my in-person class is once you've conjugated, and like I said, I like to use the different colors. Once you've conjugated, it's easier to break down to say, because if you sit there and you jump into it and you see this right here, that's kind of scary. And you're like, wow, I'm not going to ever be able to learn how to say that. Once you learn how to conjugate it, ahan, it's equal os. Os. It gets easier. It gets easier. It's an easier way to break everything down. And if you need to break things down, get your pencil, get your pen out, print it out, break it down. You know, even if you need to break it down differently, I know I do some breaking down on our syllables for words of the day. If you need to break it down that way, break it down that way. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Like I said, I'm just going over things that we've already learned. And we are going to add on because we constantly add on and we're constantly trying to, because there's a lot to learn. I am still learning and there is so much to learn. If you think about it, language is a lifetime. We were talking about some of our Mvhayvs. If you're a Mvhayv, if you're a woman who's cooked, you're going to know a lot of the cooking terms. You're going to know a lot of like the flour. You're going to know a lot of things. If you're a man and you speak Muskogee, you may know how, lawnmower terms. You may know car terms, fixing up a house. So, sometimes if you don't know the term, somebody knows it, you're constantly learning. Okay, Mr. Schaefer has his hand up. Did you want to say something? Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, aboga ojes. What tense has L grading versus what tense doesn't? Does present tense have a L grading, or
The present
you
tense
say
present tense that has the L grading, yes. And that was module
Is
one.
it only present tense?
In my experience, yes, that's the only one that I've come across that has the L grading is the present tense. Like I explained, I'm still learning, so there may be others out there that I'm not aware of yet. But that's the only one that I've come across that we use L grading. And I don't have the book with me, but it's in the black book. It says Muskogee language. That's where that's referenced in L grading. And trying to look at some of these references and put it into action, or it's really hard. And I don't know exactly all of the rules, but once we've learned, module one was the only one that we did L grading. Module two was the present tense negation, which I am not going to do something. Module three is I am not going to do something. And then module four was I am going to do something. But like I said, I've only come across L grading and module one is present tense. I am eating. And if there is more L grading out there, I have not come across that yet. Like I said, language is constantly learning. But as far as I've seen right now, it's just present tense. You know, you can look in the books and see if it's used someplace else. If it is, I haven't gotten there yet. All right, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
All right.
Lagi mo chasi, Kitles.
All right.
Learn something new.
Okay, Mado. Well, thank you. I'm learning something new every single day. Every time I sit there and I present something, it helps me remember as well. Yakubita, and it's not to sleep, it's walking. So if you printed this out, just put to walk. I keep trying to go back and upgrade and to edit everything. So that's one of the things I have to keep going through and making sure that I don't overlook something, and trying to leave it to where if you go into Google Drive, you can print everything out and everything is the way it needs to be. I've only gotten through module one with the help of Nikki. Yay! We're still trying to do module 2, 3, 4, and starting to try to get 5 in order as well, because we're just now starting 5. All right, Yakubita. Okay, you drop your ETV, you get your verb stem, no L grading. Again, like I said, module 1 was the only one that I had L grading that I've seen. You add your person marker, which is which means I. And see right here, you see right there, why don't you add the EKO? It's because you've got the That's why you only add KO. Yakaba goal, not equal. Yakaba goal. Add your subject marker T, you add your os, yakaba os. Verb stem, person marker, go or equal, subject marker, MR is, I am not walking. All right. Yay. Starting to refresh into me because like I said, I've been doing a lot of things on my the 2-week planning session, and I'm trying to get all of the vocabulary. I did go through the dictionary and find some. I went through the old dictionary, the dictionary that was at the Muskogee Council House. It was a white dictionary. So there are some words in there that I've never heard before, I've never seen before, but it shows like Thakko, R-A-K-K-O, Ijo Thakko, which is big deer. And then it says Jo Thakko, which is, he drops the E from Ijo. Jo Thakko means horse. Ijo Thakko means horse. And Thakko means horse. That one had all 3 of them in there. So it's cool to go back to old references and to look at everything. And you'll learn something even further, how our language has progressed and how things have gotten dropped off. And I'm doing more of that for the September words of the day. I know September is already over, but the process that we have, we're trying to make sure it's QC'd. So whenever you guys hear it, it's the correct pronunciation, the correct spelling, and the correct breakdown of the syllables. So that one is getting ready to be released shortly. That's all I can say. I'm not sure exactly what date. I can't give you a date, All right, so translation future one tense not going to. Hombahan equal os. All right. What person marker is that one? Anybody remember? All right, let's see. Okay, third person. Third person, she, he, it, or they. Hombahan equal os. Hombahan equal os. Eating, going to. They not are, MR is. He is not going to eat, she is not going to eat, they are not going to eat, it is not going to eat. I know it gets your mind getting back into remembering things because we remembered it, we've learned it, and now we have to refresh and keep going forward. Hombahan os. And you see right there, the person marker, I. Hombahan os. Eating, going to, I, not, MR is, hombahan os. Eating, going to, I, not, am. I am not going to eat. All right. And that looks like everything that we've got today. Like I said, we're going to start something new. I do have some new vocabulary words that I took a couple of days to go through the dictionary and choose some words that were meaningful, and to me it's inspirational. I love to look at inspirational things because we've got so many things out there in the world that are negative. You look at the news and everything, so I always like to build myself up and help build our people up because we need it. We need to help pick each other up because there are some days when you're like, dang, do I got to get out of bed? And you know, and when I think about Muskogee and think about our words, I want to make sure that that's taught and we can say positive things in our mother tongue. All right. And the cool thing, like I said, and I've said this before, is we are speaking our language, which they try to exterminate from us. And some of us, okay, I'm not going to say some of us, a lot of us Native people are trying to overcome that the trauma of history. So in every single word that you say, every single word that you learn, every single chastagi, every single little word that you have, say it, because these are the words our ancestors were quieted for, you know. So we are the strength that they have given to us because they lived, and we can say the words that they could not. And say it strong, say it loud and proud. All right. All right, Mado. I will say, head on to you, please. And I will see you guys later.